What's up, Buffs Nation, and welcome into the Buff Blitz. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, David Talks Buffs. David, how are you doing on this fine evening?
Dude, I'm pumped up, Russ. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of young up and coming stars on this team that we're going to hype up, but also a great week of NFL football for some NFL buffs to talk about. I mean, I feel like maybe the last time I was pumped to see a guy playing the NFL was Nate Landman, a handful of years ago when he left CU. But now we got draft picks to talk about. We got some guys that are making noise as UDFAs as well. So the CU to NFL pipeline, man, it's turning up. I love it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Like you said, I can't remember a time that I was more hyped for preseason football than this past weekend, getting to see all of the Buffs players, really shine in the spotlight. And we will, of course, get to the big topic of the preseason weekend. But David, talk to me about the Buffs players that most impressed you, what you were most excited, who surprised you over the weekend when it came to Buffs in the NFL?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how could you not just be so happy for LeJohntay Wester taking he had a great first punt return. And then what was it? His second one, I think he took that back for the touchdown. And tremendous to see. He looked like, now they're calling him what? Devin Wester. I love that nickname. And winning over, the Ravens flock on day one. I love to see it. And again, like seeing these guys show out, it only does more for Coach Prime, everything that we're building here. And once Jimmy goes off, I mean, maybe we say all these guys were underdrafted, right? I think that's fair to say. Maybe even Travis Hunter at number 2 underdrafted, right? That'd be the goal.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, Jimmy even had a pretty darn good showing. Like, because Carolina's punt return game was terrible until they put him back there, and he actually did something with the ball, didn't mess up, unlike the other two guys that they had. Right there, I was like immediately like, okay, Jimmy's got his chance now. He could get some serious playing time, at least at punt returner this season, if that stuff continues. And then he made a couple catches, looked solid. Didn't do a ton. I don't even think played a ton on the offensive side of the ball. Not similar to how many snaps Shedeur got, but that was impressive to see. Hey, you go back. We don't even have to talk about Buffs from this year. Xavier Weaver caught a touchdown. Darren McClendon had an unbelievable showing on the edge. Absolutely terrorizing the backfield in the preseason, got tons of praise, not only from his coaches, but from the national media as well. So you have to imagine that he's going to be a, spot on this team for sure, going forward. So seeing those two guys also go off and the rest of them, Travis, again, used him very sparingly, but, what we saw was Travis. He had a great play defensively that didn't really get on the stat sheet, because he traded off in zone coverage at the perfect time, undercut a guy, and the quarterback was looking that way, had to look it off and got sacked as a result. So a lot of great things that we saw. And like you said, it is only going to bode well for Colorado, for recruiting, for all future players. It's important to see those players, go off when it comes to the NFL and really show what CU players are now made of. So, David, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders and his game. What were your thoughts on how that went down, that preseason game, and then we'll get into, of course, what's going on this week in Brown's camp.
Was I celebrating like we won the Super Bowl? Absolutely. Absolutely. No shame in freaking out over a preseason game. This is absolutely justified. What's the point of being a sports fan if you're not enjoying when your guys are going out on the field and balling out. Incredibly impressed with Shedeur, man. There were so many great throws that he had. Again, the touchdown precision passes, those were great. But I think my favorite throw, Russ, I want to know what your favorite throw was, but I think it was on that 3rd and 15. He stood in the pocket in his own end zone, took a hit, and just fired a dart like maybe 20, 25 yards down the field on a dig route to a wide receiver. That's a real NFL throw. The arm strength was on display, the pocket presence, the accuracy, the anticipation. Everything that we've seen watching so many snaps that, he's been able to play here at CU, we knew that he could do, and he showed it all on that one play, man. It was beautiful. What about you?
I love the one-handed catch by Florio because if you really watch that play, and I saw the all 22 footage of it, like Shedeur played that perfectly because he went through his progressions. He was looking to his left, and as he's looking to his left, trying to find his tight end, the linebacker's coming in on a blitz, pretty much untouched. So Shedeur sidesteps to the right. The running back does pick up the blitz, which was very good. So it gave Shedeur just a little bit more time. But he rolls out, and not only does he roll out, he puts the touch on it, puts it perfectly. Like, yes, the receiver made an unbelievable catch. I will give him every credit in the world. But those passes with that touch float is not an easy ball. You ask any NFL quarterback, one of the toughest things. And he had a chance to hit something similar to that in the first drive. I remember that he rolled out to his left and did a little touch pass, just got it over the top. And so he gets his second chance. And what does he do? He puts it much closer to the receiver, gives the receiver a chance. Receiver comes down with a fantastic catch overall. Just looked great throughout the game. Yes, it was not perfect. Let's get to that. I mean, it's not a perfect outing whatsoever, but, and we can admit that. But for the situation, the scenario, and what was going on with the lead up to the game, the preparation, what the Browns were doing as far as reps go, and him getting the second team offense and second team offensive line, which again, everybody's like, oh, he struggled against the first team Carolina defense. He had the second team Browns offense. This is the Browns we're talking about. Yeah, that offensive line looked like Swiss cheese out there that first drive. Of course, he was running for his life, and he still made a couple of great plays, like the first down run that he made, which was a very, very good heads-up play by him. So overall, I think it was a big success. David, does that change your opinion? To you, is Shedeur Sanders the clear-cut best quarterback in Cleveland right now?
Oh, yeah, man, even with this oblique injury, Shedeur Sanders is inevitable. He's inevitable. At some point, he's going to get his opportunity. We all know that. I went through some different, I guess, like other quarterback situations, not, one-for-one comparison, but other day 3 guys that have turned into like long-term NFL starters. They fell for whatever reason there was, but guys like Dak Prescott, DUI, missed his flight, that visit here in Denver. I think that had something to do with him falling to the 4th. Kirk Cousins, 4th round pick. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was so inevitable. He didn't even get preseason reps his first year there, and then just came in and won like 6, 7, 8 straight games for the Niners. But he was inevitable. The coaching staff absolutely loved him, leading up to all that. And the one difference is, there's a lot of different theories on who made the call to draft Shedeur. I think, me personally, I'm going to go with, I think this was Andrew Berry's call. You saw him chopping it up on the sideline next to Shedeur during the game. I think that there might be a little bit of a power struggle in Cleveland, which is, kind of par for the course, right? But when you got the other guys being Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, I saw through for, God bless him, man, but 6 of 19 today in the joint practice. That's just not great. He's a backup. There's nobody with the upside that Shedeur Sanders has. And it was great to see him silence everybody, to a degree, as much as he can do in preseason. Last week, man, it was a great I told you so moment. It was great confirmation because there's been people trying to put stuff out there saying the stuff that we've watched him do the last 4 years in college isn't good. It's day 3 stuff. It makes you wonder, like, man, what is going on? Fake news. They're just trying to make you feel like nobody can watch football. But, a granny can see the football go off his hand into the hands of Flory or downfield for a touchdown and see, man, this guy slings it differently than the other guys on the roster. Thanks for listening to me for a moment, Russ. But I just had to get that off my chest, man. These people made me feel like we were crazy for thinking he was the best quarterback in the draft. Or at the very least, one of the best 3, one of the best 2. He played like a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, no, exactly. He absolutely did. And let's discuss this. So Cam brings up a good point. $250 million in Shedeur jersey sales. That's already insane with what's going on. You saw that in the stands in Carolina, which, by the way, Carolina's stadium, David, holds 75,525 people. They sold 71,205 tickets to a preseason game, David.
So dumb. I love it.
A preseason game. Not only that, let's talk about the other Shedeur Sanders factor, which is 2.2 million people tuned in on NFL Network to watch that preseason game. And it was officially the #1 program, cable and broadcast television, on Friday night. Friday night, primetime TV watching, and it was the #1 show on cable by a long shot. If that's not the Prime effect, we'll still call it the Prime effect since it's, offshoot of the family. But seriously, Browns, what do you do? What do you have to lose? What do they have to lose? It's not like they're an organization that's pushing for a Super Bowl. So you put Shedeur Sanders in, you win, great. You don't, you're still going to sell a ton of tickets. You're going to sell a ton of merchandise. People are going to have all their eyes on you, and it's a win-win. It is a win-win for them if they just claim, the credit, even if, it was stupid to take Dylan Gabriel and then end up taking Shedeur Sanders in the 5th. Yeah. There's just so much to that the Browns are completely fumbling. And, Robert's comment at the very beginning, yeah, they're a mess, a total misfit organization. I could go back a list of the quarterbacks that the Browns have had over the years, and guys who potentially, I truly do feel, had maybe at least some semblance of an NFL career that they had a chance for. And by going to the Browns and playing there and looking as bad as they did because of how bad the Browns are, their careers were over. Thank God Baker Mayfield got out of Cleveland, Dave. Look at him. He's a pretty darn serviceable quarterback in Tampa, and they love him there. But he had to get out of Cleveland.
They're getting him even more first-round wide receivers to go sling the rock to this year, man. Baker Mayfield's
they know what's up.
Decent quarterback to watch.
They know what's up. And it's so dumb that, they don't understand that. People don't understand that. There's not somebody that goes in to Cleveland and actually changes the culture. I go back, and I'll say this. This might be my hot take of the week. I've said this before. You go back to Cleveland at the very beginning when they came back as an expansion.
Yeah.
Watching Tim Couch in college, that dude could sling the rock. But he gets put on an expansion Browns team with absolutely no offensive line and gets sacked a record number of times, and not even just sacked, crushed. His career ended right then and there. He had no chance to succeed as an NFL player whatsoever. It is why they talk about the team that you go to in the draft makes a massive difference. And how often are we seeing, Dave, middle to end of the first round quarterbacks having more success than top 10 quarterbacks? I mean, I can go down the list. Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, guys that were put in much better situations than a top 5, top 10 team that got there because they absolutely suck and have no roster, and the quarterbacks just get completely destroyed. Their whole career's over. I understand now why a quarterback would start holding out. Eli Manning had every right to hold out not to play for San Diego Chargers. I mean, it's just facts there. More quarterbacks, David, I guarantee this. More quarterbacks will start doing this. with the rules of NIL, I guarantee you something's going to happen down the road where a quarterback is going to be able to go back to college. I know technically you can't, but with NIL, like it was always you couldn't go back because you signed a deal with an agent and that made you a professional and you couldn't go back to college. Somebody is going to challenge the NCAA and go back to college after entering the draft if a team they don't like drafts them. Mark my words, that's going to happen.
Well, hey, man, Quinn Ewers should be the first one to do that, man, because he'd be making a lot more money this year, playing his 6th, 7th year of college football, whatever. But anyways, that's up to him. But the one silver lining that I think about, or maybe not silver lining, but the one thing I think that is in Shedeur's favor, again, I don't believe the entire organization is against him. There might be a split. I think that's what happens in dysfunctional franchises. But again, you're not trading up into the 5th round to sabotage a guy's career. You're just not doing that when he's there, in my opinion.
No.
But there could be guys on the coaching staff that are for or against him. I think that Andrew Berry's in his corner, which is very helpful. Not so much with Stefanski, but again, as long as he goes and wins the reps, whether it's in practice or preseason, it's going to be inevitable. The owner's going to want it. The fans are going to want it. The GM's going to want it. And Shedeur's used to turning around crappy programs. He did it with Jackson State. He did it with our Buffs. So if there's anyone that is built, that's grown for this moment, it's him, man. So if it takes a little bit of time, so be it. Like I said, Lamar, Mahomes, Rodgers, Love, man, all these guys sat. All these guys sat a little bit. It's not a huge deal if Joe Flacco starts the season, but I don't know what they're doing with Kenny Pickett and Tyler Huntley on this roster.
Yeah, and I completely agree. When the draft was happening, I said that Shedeur to Cleveland, even though I hate Cleveland and what they do, I was like, Shedeur was probably the only quarterback that could save Cleveland right away because of what he has experienced, like you said. He has not been on great rosters. He has been running for his life for 4 straight years. So if he goes in there and has, guys chasing him down because the offensive line isn't up to snuff in Cleveland, he can still do something with the ball. Yeah. Like, that's why it's just mind-blowing that they thought Dillon Gabriel was the solution. Like, no matter what you think about Dillon Gabriel, by the way, okay, I get it. There's people out there that think he can ball. I won't name any names. We'll just talk about that. Everybody knows who we're talking about. That thinks Dillon Gabriel's a pretty darn good quarterback. I don't think Dillon Gabriel can succeed on Cleveland. If Dillon Gabriel had gone to an actual roster that had an actual team in front of him that he could have maybe sat and played eventually, I think he could be a very successful quarterback. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but I think he could have been a more successful quarterback. This is what you get. And they picked him over Shedeur, essentially, is what it is. And I will bang on this drum till the day I die, and I will hold this above every Cleveland fan until they get everybody in that building fired. But they had a chance to have Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders on the same darn team. You want to talk about saving a franchise from itself? That would have been the absolute bottom line best thing that could have happened. And they trade away the number 2 and let Jacksonville have him. And because going in the draft, did we at all think that Travis and Shedeur could have got on the same exact team and what that would have meant? Like, as bad as it means, it probably meant that, Coach Prime was probably gone from CU. I mean, if he could coach Travis and Shedeur and then sign Shiloh, it would have been the perfect scenario. But maybe that's also why they didn't want to do it, Dave. Maybe coach is a little hurt, little ego. But man, it's absolutely insane to think about that. Absolutely insane.
Hopefully they can get some offensive line, man, with these picks that they got for trading that number 2 pick so the Jags could get Travis Hunter. But yeah, with Dillon Gabriel, not as mobile as Kyler Murray, but still, mobile. But with these shorter quarterbacks, Bryce Young's another example. You just need the conditions to be maybe not necessarily perfect, but you need a darn good offensive line in the NFL for those guys to be good. That was one of the reasons why I said in January or wherever it was when Gabriel transferred out to Oregon. Now I thought he was going to be a Heisman finalist because that offensive line at Oregon was going to be perfect for him. And yeah, when he has the time, I think he has NFL talent, but I don't think man's starting upside, man. It's hard to see over the line to begin with. And if the protection ain't great and you're 5'10", man, that's just going to be tough. So maybe he is the next Doug Flutie. We'll have to see. But, I'm not going to go out there and say it, man. I'll go with the guy who also should have been a Heisman finalist if they had 5 spots. And that was, Shedeur Sanders, right? Right? He would have been that 5th guy. Should have been that.
He should have been. He should have been there, even if he wasn't the 5th guy. I think it was just the fact that they didn't want 2 Colorado guys. Could you imagine 2 Colorado guys in New York at the same time? What that would have done to the college football world?
Oh yeah, they would have melted down, man.
Blown up. Somebody in the chat.
They would have stormed the Capitol again. All right, sorry.
all the college football fans, storm New York. Storm New York. It works, guys. It works. This comment, I got to remind everybody, because we talked about it in the offseason before the draft when Coach Prime was rumored to go to Dallas. It's not happening. Go check out Dak's contract. I'm sorry, but Jerry is stuck with Dak for at least a few seasons, okay? Yeah. Maybe when Shedeur's rookie deal is up, maybe something can happen, but that's just not where it's at, okay? Uh-oh, Dave. We got a big super chat. Do we bring it up?
Man, this is a positive place. This is a positive place.
I mean, he's paying $4.99. We got to read it. Ron Alexander, I'm not feeling that buffed in prime. Tikal feeling himself, elf. I would be a great quarterback if I played with Oregon's offensive line too. Shedeur is a gamer. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
$5 super chat, Ron Alexander. We appreciate you tuning in, man. If you want to have fun, this is one of the many places you can have fun and talk Buffs with.
Good use of $5. I would say that. Good use of $5. I'll give that to him. I'll give that to him all day, every day. Alexander Caveman McPherson will be laying the wood at every quarterback. Gennaro, I'm favoriting, by the way, your comments because we're going to talk about the newcomers.
Talking about all these freshmen, baby.
We're going to talk about all these freshmen here in a little bit. So once we get done with the Shedeur talk, I will bring your comments back up. Rumor has it he's trading Micah for Shedeur. That would be the dumbest thing ever. Okay, that would be the dumbest thing ever to trade your franchise defensive player to have 2 quarterbacks on the roster and one you can't get rid of because Dak is stuck on that roster forever.
Yeah,
it would be the dumbest thing for both teams.
Somebody had this in here. I don't know who it was, but talking about, man, the Rams, they were one of the teams after Shedeur was falling, I was really hoping would get involved. And come on, Sean McVay, man, what were you doing? Now you got Matthew Stafford with this mysterious back injury that's continuing to linger. It's not looking good, man. And you need a quarterback next year. That's not Jimmy Garoppolo, man. So he would have been a perfect one. Again, I don't think somebody asked what's the end game for Cleveland. Again, I think their end game is to try and find the best quarterback they can. I would have gone about it differently, but I don't think their end game is to just flip a 5th round pick that they traded up for like a 3rd round pick or something like that. I just don't see that as the end game. I think that they want to give him a legitimate shot. You saw him lead the team in reps on Monday before this, or Tuesday. What was it? Monday or Tuesday before this oblique injury. But they're going about it in a way that's just kind of like nonsensical of like, they got too many cooks in the kitchen. But I think their end goal is good. I don't think there are any ulterior motives there, but clearly there's dysfunction and infighting. We'll see who wins out.
And I think it was worst case scenario for the people that didn't want Shedeur to be the quarterback for what he went out and did. Like it is. It's worst case scenario for them because of this exact reason.
What is wrong with you? Why are some people so obsessed with seeing the failure of certain people? I think Jake Schwanitz had a tweet out that said there are literally people going to bed in a bad mood on Friday night because Shedeur Sanders played well in a preseason game.
There was.
What is wrong with our society?
But Dave, we had that all last year. We've had it for 2 years with Coach Prime. Like everybody watches CU because you either support them or you want to see them fail. There are people out there that hate life so much that they would rather live a life where their entire existence is about watching other people's failures. That's what it is. That's why 2.2 million people showed up for a preseason game, because they wanted to have their fingers on the phone ready to go when Shedeur Sanders underperformed, and they could say, I told you so on social media. It's exactly what happens, Dave. And Jake is right, because Jake gets it the worst in the Twitter comments. Like that dude, I've given him so much crap over the last few weeks. That dude is seriously a part of the Nebraska algorithm, because every one of his tweets has 100 Nebraska comments. I swear they all have him like their number one fan. He needs to start charging money to like tweet at him, because I guarantee you he would be rich from corn money if he did that.
Receipt Street, it's going to be a great one with him and RK later this year. I'm sure it's going to be must-see TV.
Hawaii Chris with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I think Gabriel is like 5'8". I'm not seeing 5'10".
I mean, yeah, you know, put him next to, you know, let's just stay on theme, right? Like, who's taller, him or D'Angelo Pons?
I don't know if you saw this, Dave. Did you see the viral tweet that's going on right now on Twitter?
No.
I've got to bring this up about Dillon Gabriel. I mean, we can have fun with this, right? We can have fun with this. We don't have to. We don't
You're
have
the
to
host
be,
for tonight.
We don't have to. You know. So Dillon Gabriel was arrested in downtown Cleveland last night. Cleveland was at practice this morning pending NFL investigation. Will this open the door for Shedeur Sanders? And here you go. Here's the video of Dillon Gabriel being arrested, Dave. I'm sorry. Wrong
man.
one. Wrong remove.
Man, these deep fakes are getting way too realistic.
I'm sorry. I saw that. I get it. I don't want to wish any downfall to Dillon Gabriel, but you gotta admit when something's funny. Like, we can admit it was something like touche to that person for tweeting that out. They got it. Also, Ron is back again. I feel Shedeur will fulfill his contract, and when it's time to renew, he will leave them for a different organization. And they very well could see that happen. I mean, Dave, if he does well with Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
If he does well with Cleveland and his contract gets up, because, by the way, they don't get that 5th-year option because they didn't take him in the first round. I talked about that there in the draft. If that happens, they're going to either have to pay him an arm and a leg, like the highest contract ever, even if he's not the best quarterback in the NFL at that point, okay? Or he's walking. I don't see him giving a discount to the Browns at that point. Do you?
Let's talk about all these quarterbacks that have left crappy organizations that drafted them, and they have flourished. Most recently, we can talk about Sam Darnold leaving the Jets, leaving the freaking Carolina Panthers. Who else was he with? Doesn't matter. Balls out with the Vikings. You got Geno Smith, who has put a nice second act of his career together, you know, since leaving the Jets and everything like that. I know there's more. You know, Baker Mayfield, you brought up earlier. So, yeah, man, depending on how things go, that's one of the benefits. If you're not in the first round, you don't have that, that 5th round option, one less year of team control, and only 3 seasons after this one before he can hit free agency. He's not going to get cut, man. And all that talk about him getting cut or traded, I just don't buy that. But we'll see how it all plays out. But I think Shedeur is going to make some lemonade out of this, man. Again, that's what he's always done.
And Eric makes a good point here. You can see this with his teammates too. Like, his teammates, Myles Garrett, David Njoku, like the guys that have been in Cleveland for a long time, I guarantee you that they want Shedeur Sanders to be their quarterback. Like, if they had it in them to say who was their quarterback, they would want him to be it. And I do think that there's a lot of people in the NFL that see him and are like, I want to go ball out with this guy. I'm sure there's a ton of receivers out there that say, I want to go ball and go to war with this guy. All eyeballs on us. Let's make this happen. Let's be legendary together. I think that would happen. I mean,
dude, he passes the vibe check, man. And no doubt, like, he gets along with everybody and he's making plays on the field. Teammates respect that. again, not a direct comparison to this situation, but if you remember after the Broncos Super Bowl drafting Paxton Lynch in the first round, you would have thought that guy would have been the next guy to just go ahead and get that opportunity, but he didn't earn the respect of his teammates. He did not prepare, and you know who did? The third string, 7th round pick, Trevor Siemian, man, and he won the respect of the locker room. He won the trust of the coaches, and so he ended up being our starter for 2 years.
Hey, and the respect of Broncos fans, okay? Big props to our boy T-Sim. Like, he had a great run there.
Man. He's still kicking it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love it. I loved everything about him, at being a quarterback, even though he wasn't the greatest quarterback. But, it could have been a lot worse. But there's that. Cam, Myles Garrett on recorded on video saying, we are going to need you to Shedeur. He knows. So, okay, can we just here's how we'll end the Shedeur talk. And you tell me on this, because I've been seeing this everywhere. Anybody that is an ex-NFL player or current NFL player have all said that Shedeur Sanders is a baller. NFL players know that this guy can play ball. NFL players know that this guy can play ball. And you want to know who I'm going to believe the most? I'm going to believe NFL vets who say Shedeur Sanders passes the eye test. They break down his film. They look at it. They say, hey, there's a lot to love here. Are there, some hiccups here and there and some like beginner rookie things happening? Yeah. Yes, but very fixable stuff. So I'm going to believe them above anybody else. I'm not a pro. I don't have a pro background. I didn't play in the league for 10 years. David, you didn't play in the league for 10 years. So like our opinions, what are they when it comes to that? But when everybody out there is saying that he's great, what are we supposed to do about that?
I have sat on my butt and watched so much football throughout my life. I think I got somewhat of a decent grid if, or gauge if the guy is half decent or not. Like, you just kind of know. Again, man, I think grannies and grandmas can tell if Shedeur has talent, right? And I think the grannies, we know the aunties know ball too. So they can see that he's got talent, man. The oblique injury, it's annoying. The Browns got a terrible training staff, par for the course, but he can overcome this. He can overcome this, and he will get his opportunity at some point this year. I firmly believe that. We just got to be a little bit more patient. That's all.
Yeah. So let's move on. We could talk about Shedeur for an entire hour, but I'm sure everybody's here for one big reason alone, and that is the Buffaloes. So, David, we want to talk. There it is. The horns are coming out, guys.
Yeah, that's right, man.
We're getting ready. Season's around the corner. We're what? 2 weeks away? Yeah, 2 weeks away from the first game, roughly. David, we're talking freshmen today. Freshmen. That's right. Freshmen.
Yes.
Tell me, please, what has been most surprising to you from this freshman class so far in fall camp and spring?
Oh, okay. Surprising. I think that there are more guys that are going to get playing time than I initially would have figured or anticipated. And I think as time has gone on, you've been able to see Quentin Gibson, man, he's going to get snaps. He's going to get snaps, and that was pretty much all but confirmed yesterday when Coach Prime put him in front of the mic, man. That does not happen very often. But, man, I cannot – man, today's show's been amazing.
We're having fun today, people. We're having fun today. Hey, and just remember – every Wednesday during the season, this is going to be happening, so you guys will be back. But,
shall we just read this for $10? I mean,
I was going to leave it up for a little bit too, as an advertisement. But
hey, moving soon, save time and money with your next truck rental with Diddy Truck. Compare prices from companies like U-Haul, Penske, and Budget. Reserve your next truck with Diddy Truck. No baby oil included. Go Buffs and rent smart. Let's go.
Okay, whoever runs Diddy Truck, please, you need to add the saying, no baby oil needed. Please, you want to sell your business? That's what it takes.
Dude, I love Diddy Truck, man. Hey, Diddy Truck, you want to sponsor the show, man? DavidTalksBuffs@gmail.com. Russ, what's your email?
It's buffsnewsweekly@gmail.com. Hit
go.
us
Come
up.
on.
We've got some stuff in the works, right, David? We've got some stuff. So, hey, Diddy Truck, you're getting a $10 advertisement, just so you know it's not going to be $10 in the future.
Yeah, okay. Come on now. Come on. Let's work this out now. Get us some Diddy Truck stickers. So what a night talking about. Now,
what a night.
Dude, now my ADHD is all over the place. Quentin Gibson.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I think he's going to play some at wide receiver. I just think he is. Maybe in a limited capacity, obviously. But it sounds like Michael Pollock and Coach Prime, they really want to see what this guy can do on returns, starting with kick returns, and then as time goes on, maybe taking some of these punt returns along with Kalen Taylor, a few of the other guys. But I know we kind of want to break down every single freshman, but let's talk with him, man. I mean, talk about him. Quentin Gibson, he plays bigger than his size. He wants to be that next LeJontay Wester. And again, if he was 6 foot, he would have been a 5-star guy, but he's just a little small. That's all.
Yeah. So I after the game, I don't think we're saying that Quentin Gibson is going to start or make a ton of catches this season. I think that he can be an impactful player when it comes to spot time with certain plays. I think that they're going to have some Quentin Gibson plays in the playbook using his abilities, screens, end arounds, reverses, things like that would use his athleticism in open space. And then I do think, because based on what the coaches said yesterday, he is going to probably get the bulk of the time when it comes to kick returns. Yes. It sounds like he's the main person there. So absolutely. I don't think either of us, Dave, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you don't think that he's going to have a bunch of catches and, yards and be one of the.
Here's the thing. A breakout is different than a freshman breakout. We're talking about freshman breakouts. The bar's a little bit lower for true freshmen, man. But hey, I think multiple touchdowns can happen this year for Quentin Gibson, man. That's my prayer. That's my hope. Because again, with these guys, we're just seeing the baseline of what they can do.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let me bring back up, because Gennaro had a comment earlier about Quentin Gibson, and he just donated $2, so I'll go ahead and throw up his comment from earlier. Please, CU will need an ambulance available at every CU game. Quentin Joystick Gibson will be breaking ankles on every punt return, and I have no doubt that he is going to be an absolute unbelievable sight to see. You're gonna want to be paying attention during every special teams play when Quentin Gibson is on the field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bring an ambulance, bring a Diddy truck.
Even more Diddy Truck.
Yeah, come on now.
Sponsorship.
Bring Diddy.
Opposing teams moving soon because your ankles are broken? Hire Diddy Truck. No baby oil needed.
Yeah.
Best ad read ever. Well, so outside of Quentin Gibson, I'm excited for on the defensive side of the ball, Dave. I think my freshman breakout is going to be London Merritt. I think that he is going to have a sizable impact. I think he's going to be a part of the rotation, probably not as heavy as some of the other D linemen. But I think out of all of the guys in that D line room, London Merritt probably has the most upside of any player on this roster. Now, whether he hits that this year or in the coming years, I think he's going to be an absolute terror at the defensive end spot for the Buffs. Alex McPherson, I think he'll do pretty good, but I think London Merritt is going to be a difference maker in his freshman season for the Buffs.
Dude, London Merritt, he's got that rare combination already of just quick speed off the edge. Of course, defense against the run and all that stuff, that will come with time, man. I just want to see him go out this year and make a few impact plays, which I think he can do. Alexander McPherson, I mean, we've seen him, right? Get some reps with the twos, I think.
Yeah.
I again, he's
He's
probably
been
lower
rotating
on
in.
that rotation than London Merritt, but this dude plays with like a serious attitude, which I like. I like to see him already getting chippy with all the offensive linemen, getting in scuffles, probably talking crap. You know, he was always saying during his commitment video, he's like, I just want people to, know about me that I'm a nice guy off the field. But that means he's a mean guy on the field. That's what
Mean
I'm
SOB.
talking about. We need some mean guys on the field. Now, I will say, I did not feel this way until maybe the spring game, and I think we've seen it in, the few practice videos, that we've had throughout this time, but a guy that might have some of the highest potential on this team in this 2025 class, TJ Branch.
I always forget about him. I don't know why I forget about him. I really don't.
Yeah, TJ Branch. That man flies around like a missile. He's absolutely laying the wood. I think that he is maybe next in line to take that, Headache Gang CEO title. If Shiloh's ever going to pass that on, maybe Bayard can do that as well. We'll have to see. But TJ Branch, man, that kid can fly. And, I'm not expecting him to be a starting safety right now, just with what we've seen. But it would not surprise me, man, to see him get more and more snaps throughout the season. And, yeah, man, I really like what we see out of TJ Branch. Another guy who plays with – he's got attitude to his game, man. An exciting brand of football.
Northside says, David, Brandon Davis Swain has the highest ceiling on the defense.
Well, he's a redshirt freshman, but I guess he counts. I guess we can count him.
Yeah, I guess we can. Well, and he's definitely showed out this year.
Yes.
Like last year, invisible. I would forget that he was on this team. This year, I'm hearing him called out. I'm hearing, players say things about him, coaches say things about him. So there's something there that he might be sneaking.
He might be playing better than Jaheim Otis right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got confirmed that the Jaheim Otis stuff is not going well by them putting out the Gilly video with Gilly talking to him about how the coaches have been having to call him out, and he's asking him, what the heck are you doing? You've got all the talent in the world, and you're lazy, and that is not a good recipe for a Coach Prime player, right, Dave? Like, that does not spell good things for Jaheim Otis, even if he has that skill.
No, I'm still praying. I haven't lost hope. It just might take a little while, man, for things to click. It just might take a little while.
And honestly, if they don't click here at CU, they're not going to click anywhere.
No.
That reminds me, oh gosh, who's the guy from Prime's first year that defensively did a lot of good things?
Man. But his name was Thomas, dude. Why do I always forget his first name?
Got the guy that got kicked off the
Who
team.
Are you my effing daddy? I love that guy. He was so funny.
Somebody in the chat will throw it in there.
Bishop Thomas.
Bishop. That's right. It's Bishop. Like Bishop Thomas reminds me of Jaheim Otis now. All this upside, size, speed, talent, could not put it together off the field and figure things out and be what Coach Prime wanted him to be. And unfortunately, that ended his football playing career. So, yeah, I loved Bishop when he was here. I wanted him to. I mean, hey. One of the best memories, David, from that season, okay? One of the best memories was Bishop going in at fullback and absolutely destroying that guy for the touchdown.
Dude, he was playing on kickoff return, too.
He was doing everything, and he was doing well. He couldn't get out of his own way. That happens. We got a couple more super chats. We're gonna get to them. Ron with the $4.99. When do the Buffs start game planning for Georgia Tech? What is your gut feeling on this game? Also, I can't stand T-Cal. Hope Coach don't ever invite him back. Way to add that in there. David, when do you think they start game planning for Georgia Tech? And how are you feeling?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Should be next week. And I think Neely and DNVR confirmed that in their video that they put out, maybe a little less than 2 weeks out. So he said, if you're not clicking this week, you're not playing. So we're right around the corner when it comes to game planning for Georgia Tech. Yeah, kind of treat next week. I mean, we'll still be practicing, but it's nice. It's like a built-in bye week, right? You get 2 full weeks to prepare instead of 1.
And Georgia Tech has a week 0 game, don't they?
I have no idea.
I believe they do, which is another huge advantage because
Oh, I'm glad Bishop's killing it at Georgia State. So after the game, so that's awesome to see, man. I don't know if that's sarcastically
I
or
think
whatever,
that's
but I'm going to
sarcastic.
take it as
I think that's sarcastic. No week 0 game for Georgia Tech. Never mind. So we're both first game going that week. David, when it comes to the Georgia Tech game for me, I think you're right. I think we're going to start seeing that implemented a little more. And I think what people can look for, which we might not see as much well off reach the people detailed footage, but they're going to try and hide some things like who's the quarterback. Yeah. Because I have a feeling, I mean, it's been pretty obvious. I mean, for the most part, Salter's been running with the ones since practice started. Now, if a change was to be made, it'd probably happen right around now if Julian Lewis. But I'm thinking at this point, Kaidon Salter's your number one. You talked about it today. What are you seeing with Kaidon Salter? What do you think he can bring to Colorado against Georgia Tech? And mind you, I had a nice, interesting chat with a Georgia Tech fan in one of my chats. They absolutely were like, oh, Kaidon Salter's not even close to the skill level that King is for Georgia Tech. And I'm like, are you serious? Go look at their career stats. They're pretty much a mirror of the same player. And if anything, I might give the leg up to Kaidon Salter because, oh, by the way, Kaidon Salter has a 1,000-yard rushing season. And the best that King has is 700 yards in a season.
Dude, let's just start this right now. What is it with these Georgia Tech fans acting like Boise State fans last year, taking a close loss to a big-time national title contender is like a win? At the end of the day, you still lost to Georgia, man. You still lost to Georgia, but that's like their crowning victory of last year. No. I'm telling you, Georgia Tech, I have all the respect for Georgia Tech, their football team, their fans. They're crazy. They're crazy. The ones I've seen on Twitter, man, they're not going to know what hit them when they come into Boulder. They're the ones that got to adjust to the altitude. They're the ones that are coming on the road, and we're the ones that got Prime now with a bladder removed. You telling us
bladderless Prime is going to be the new hashtag as Colorado just demolishes teams this year.
Yeah, bladderless Prime, man. We're leveling up. Like, this team's going to come out and play with the same intensity that I think that they brought against TCU, man. Everybody was doubting them. We're dogs. Everybody's dogging us. What's our win total this year? 5.5? No, man. I think at minimum, dude, we're bowl eligible. But I think, obviously, this team is much better than just being bowl eligible.
And, of course, probably next week on next week's Buff Blitz, we can go through and talk about our predictions of the season and all that. Yeah. But you look at the schedule, and I'm sorry, you can't tell me that there's not 7 wins easy on that schedule. Yeah. And by easy, I don't mean like we're going to blow them out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like there are 7 very, very winnable games if CU is who we think they are from what we've seen. And I do believe we have the best offensive line that Colorado has had. And hey, I don't know if you saw the interview this morning with Neely and Chico. They brought on Adam Munster-Tiger. Yeah. And Adam says, and I quote, "This is the biggest offensive line I've seen at CU in his entire 26 years of covering the program." And he said, skill-wise, it's probably top 3 as far as offensive lines go in CU 26-year history, which, by the way, if we go back 20 plus years, you're talking about the mid-2000s when you had your Matt McChesney, when you had those teams there that actually sent a lot of guys to the league on the offensive line. So that tells you a lot about what we think about Colorado. So any Georgia Tech fan that thinks they're just going to come into Boulder and roll over us and steamroll us, I think it's going to be very surprised. Of course, I know how this works. They're going to roll the goalposts. Like if they somehow get a 1-point victory, they're going to be running around like it's the greatest victory ever. And they're not going to, admit the fact that they've been telling me all week that they're winning by, all month 42 points, which is just not going to happen, not in Boulder.
Nah, man. Georgia Tech, they're going to feel the wrath of Swayze. These fans are going to know the name of Swayze when we're done with them, right? Yeah, man, we're only becoming a tougher, better football team every year. That's just how it is right now. Now, Russ, we did have another super chat. I don't know if you.
Yeah. Let's go back and do that. Keith, I can't forget Keith. Of course, Keith, one of the best supporters of the channel. He is a member of both our channels. That's how amazing Keith is.
Hey, look at his photo.
That's right.
Stepping on Norvell, man. Stepping over Norvell. Just love it.
I love it. Headache Gang is done. The new name is the Blue Tent Gang.
Yeah, man. Let's send them to the Blue Tent, sponsored by Diddy Trucks. I love it. But speaking of other freshmen, Russ, I think there's maybe a couple other guys that I did want to hit on. But I forget that Chauncey Gooden is only a true freshman. I feel like he's already been here for like a year plus already, but seems like he's getting along well. Running mainly with the twos at the guard position. And again, I think that he's a shoo-in to be a starter next year when Hill and Chrysler go off to the NFL. So yeah. I've been very, very impressed with him. Russ, any other thoughts right now? We haven't talked about, X, Christian, Hudson, Mantrez, anybody else that you're feeling like we need to keep an eye out for? Noah King, I guess, is another one at corner. He's part of the freshman class now.
I mean, Quinnell, we can't go this segment without mentioning and bringing up Quinnell Farrakhan. And of course, there is one more person we could bring up, David, that we're kind of all glancing over because we just had an entire conversation about Kaidon Salter. But Quinnell X Farrakhan, now that dude is going to make some plays. And I foresee, David, a similar stat line to Draylon Miller last year for Quinnell Farrakhan. That 200-plus yards, a couple catches here and there every game, maybe a touchdown or two where he makes a great play and makes those flashes of what kind of player he is heading into next year. What I'm loving about this team, by the way, and I don't think anybody talks about this enough, is the retention when it comes to our receivers. Like everybody talks about CU, everybody just mass exoduses and leaves, but we are keeping our receiver rooms each and every year, even when we're bringing in transfer portal talent. They're not wanting to leave. That tells you a lot about how they feel about here. And so Quinnell Farrakhan, he's the future. Quentin Gibson, he's the future. And they know they're the future, and I think they'll be okay with taking a little bit of a back seat this first year, making some plays when they can. But Quinnell Farrakhan is absolutely somebody that needs to be watched very closely.
Yes, no doubt about it, man. And of course, Julian, man, props to you, Russ, for saying, Dave, you don't need to worry about us complicating things with the two quarterback system. No, we saw Neely all but confirm that with DNVR earlier this week. So give Salter the reins, see what he can do, and then hopefully we'll see Julian Lewis here in mop-up duty in some of these games. So I think it would be ideal to still have him keep it, use his red shirt this year if possible. We'll just have to see. But it would be nice to get another 4 years from him after this year, ideally.
And he might be somebody that you do see that from, because everybody's got to remember that he came in early.
Yes.
He is an entire year early. So if he were to leave college early, he would technically be a sophomore when he is quote unquote NFL eligible.
That's true.
So I'm sorry, but I don't know very many NFL teams, no matter your talent, that is like, I'm going to bring you to the NFL and you're going to be a top pick in the draft as a sophomore quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I get the whole argument with, older quarterbacks have not had success in the NFL, but I don't think you're going to take a 20-year-old quarterback and give him the keys to your franchise. So that's where, yes, I think, David, having that red shirt year would probably be important just in case. Getting a full 3 seasons out of him, starting at minimum, maybe 4 seasons. But I think we're in and again, I'm going to throw this name out, and I'm sure there's going to be somebody that would either clip this or say something else, but an Arch Manning situation. Yeah. Arch Manning sitting behind Quinn Ewers, but guess what? Texas still used the name Arch Manning to get momentum in recruiting. And you can't tell me that there won't be people in the next coming recruiting classes that don't say, I want to go to Colorado to play with Julian Lewis.
Yeah.
So especially if he shows flashes and balls out in some spot duty, if we can get some situations like Texas did last year where they put Arch Manning in at the end of a couple blowouts and he, was slinging the rock, and everybody was like, well, maybe he should be the starter, even though that was never going to happen. I think we could really see some momentum pick up in both the 2026 class and, of course, the 2027 class as well.
Now you reminded me, too, that Quinn Ewers was an early enrollee at Ohio State. Like, I always forget that. Like, his senior year of high school was spent with Ohio State and just redshirted. Now with Julian, you got the opportunity to still just be in the same system, the same program, like all of that. It's so beneficial. So, I think Julian is just as committed to CU as, Arch Manning is to the Texas Longhorns. It seems like he's fully 110% bought in, and everybody's always talking about how they want to win a national championship here during their time. This freshman class has talked about that. So, I think that they're all in it together. And I think with it being a small class, hopefully that really helps enforce like the commitment that they're making to one another as well.
And I agree with that. And Dave, I think winning a national championship at Colorado would mean a heck of a lot more than winning one anywhere else. Like, you would be remembered not only in the state of Colorado, not only with CU fans, but you would be remembered nationally. Like, I'm going to say it, they'd probably make a movie out of it, if I'm being honest. I mean, it'd probably be like one of the many sports movies out there, about college or underdog teams, quote unquote, underdog. They'll probably make it a lot worse than it actually is in the movie if they ever made it. But Colorado wins a national championship. That the attention compared to Georgia, Ohio State, Bama, the usual suspects that win all the time. Still a big deal that they win a national championship. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say that, but it does not mean the same thing when you go to a program that has already a history versus creating a history and a legacy at a new school.
I'm telling you, when that happens, man, lock down the Capitol, because they're storming the Capitol again for that one, man.
We're storming the capital of Denver, okay? We're storming the capital of Denver. We're going to put a CU flag up on the roof. We're going to steal Jared Polis's documents from the office. It's going to happen, Dave.
Let's do it. I already got the headdress on.
We'll all be wearing that. I mean, we'll all look exactly like that. I mean, we'll fit in, right? We'll fit in perfectly. We already got the water buffalo heads on. Yeah. Gennaro with another $4.99 for you, Dave. Alexander Caveman McPherson will be laying the wood on every opponent's quarterback, and we'll need a Diddy truck to dispose of the trash, beginning with Georgia Tech.
Let's go. Alexander McPherson, or as I like to call him, the big wood layer. So let's go. Thank you, Gennaro. I love it.
Oh, man, so many good things.
Yeah, Beijing Scotty. Isn't that an awesome name?
I love it. Does that mean, like, is he from China and just considers himself the Chinese, version of Scotty? Does Scotty know about Beijing Scotty is my question?
I don't know, man. I just think it's a cool name.
Oh, man. It is going to be an interesting season, and it is an interesting day/night in the chat. You guys are absolutely going crazy in there.
Must be another full moon, man.
Is it a full moon out? Do we know?
I gotta Google it.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if it was? That would say everything we needed to know about tonight's amazing Buff Blitz, which, by the way, 300 people in the video.
Oh, goodness.
Listening right now to us ramble.
It's a waning gibbous today, so no full moon.
Well, waning gibbous. We'll just call it the waning gibbous effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Overall is what we're seeing.
Yeah, we just need football back.
We need football back bad. I mean, this is what happens. This is what happens when we don't have football for a long while. Like, I'm glad we had it this season. We got a little taste. We got just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get the whole thing coming soon. So...
Should we end with like a prediction, man? Do you got one thing you're going to hope to see this weekend out of the NFL Buffs?
I love it. I think we're going to see the first touchdown for Travis.
Ooh, okay. I was going to go with the first touchdown for Jimmy Horn.
I like it. David, first touchdown for Jimmy Horn. Me, first touchdown for Travis. Everybody in the chat, throw in real quick your quick predictions or any other questions that you guys have for us. Before we end off the show tonight, We're at the hour mark, but I want to make sure that we get to any of your questions or any of your guys' predictions that we might not be thinking about for this weekend for the Buffs. Here we go. Beijing Scotty going real spicy. Real spicy. Shiloh with the pick six. If Shiloh has a pick six, I will probably run out my front door in the nude. Yeah. Cheering. And I will, okay, if Shiloh gets a pick six, I will absolutely buy a Shedeur Sanders Buccaneers jersey.
I was just about to say that. I'm gonna have
you in too, David?
Buy a Bucks jersey.
We'll come back. We'll come back in the next show with Shedeur Sanders Bucks jersey. I'm gonna go up to Boulder to the pro shop at Buffs, since now they sell all of the jerseys from the players.
Now,
I'll pick me up
food chain was he serving fried chicken out of? Because we'll need him to sign it. We'll need to go on a trip.
Hey, he loves people who wear his jerseys, so that probably would happen.
Yeah, because you saw that clip of him driving. Drive-through. Yeah. What restaurant was that? Maybe it was Cane's. I think it was.
I think it was Cane's. It's either Cane's. Maybe Bojangles.
Maybe it was Bojangles. That's another good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, by the way, first Bojangles to open in Colorado just opened up this month.
Congratulations.
Except David, it's in Pueblo, Colorado. Not congratulations.
Wait, why the hell would they?
If anybody in the chat is from Colorado, you know why this is absolutely hilarious that Pueblo, Colorado got the first Bojangles.
All right.
We're not gonna say anything else.
Weird. It's like, let's just go there. And what about they don't got Chicken Express yet in Colorado, do they? I mean,
no.
Glad we got Chicken Express down here in San Antonio, man.
We are getting Whataburger.
Yes.
We are getting Whataburger.
We got Whataburger, but give me Chicken Express every single time, man. Chicken Express is so slept on. Same with Culver's.
Ooh,
Have
Culver's
you been to Culver's in Westminster?
Oh, I've been to a couple. Well, I have a Culver's just down the road. I'm right by Loveland, so about 10 minutes away from.
Oh, yeah, Butterburger.
Good old
Scoopy.
Butterburger.
Scoopy Buck.
After the game, Travis plays 2 quarters. Decent. I think that's a pretty safe prediction. Eric going crazy. Travis picked 6 and a receiving touchdown.
Love it.
Jimmy scored last week. Jimmy did score last week. You're thinking LeJohntay
scored last week.
LeJohntay scored last week. Jimmy only had 2 catches for a few yards, and then he had a really good punt return. But Jimmy did not have a touchdown yet. Shedeur going to play Saturday? Is that the question mark? Because every report on Twitter right now is saying he's not playing this weekend. That's already confirmed.
With likely not playing.
I don't think they play him. I think they shut him down. It gives him a chance to just say, "Hey, Dylan Gabriel, this is your game. Show us what you can do against
19, baby.
Against the Philadelphia Eagles." But I'm sure if he at all performs decently, we're going to hear nothing about it, about the fact that, oh, the Eagles are way better than Carolina. That's why Shedeur looks so good. Dylan Gabriel is the next greatest quarterback. Angela McClellan, appreciate you chatting. Yes. 100 yards for Shep. We got to give Shep props. He also had a pretty good showing. He had a couple good catches for Green Bay.
Dude, I'm mad. I'm mad at Sean Payton for letting that man walk out the door. We had him in here for rookie mini camp. Did not give him an invite to the Broncos training camp, and now Packers fans are falling in love with him because he catches freaking everything. He had a 2% drop rate this past year. He's been catching everything out there in Green Bay. They got a good one.
David, you see the massive amount of money that was just gifted to the football program in Kansas?
Was it $300 million? I thought that was fake news.
No, it looks to be confirmed that they got a massive influx of cash. My question and everybody's question is, when will Matt Stone and Trey Parker donate from their $8 billion deal for South Park? Throw us $100 million. Come on. Throw us $100 million to your alma mater. Okay. Even though you guys didn't graduate, you still love CU. We know you do.
Love CU.
We know you do. Throw us a couple shekels.
Yeah. Come on. And we're still looking for more sponsorships. So if you need us to sponsor, this episode is brought to you by South Park. Come on, man.
I would have died and gone to heaven. I would have died and gone to heaven. Okay? Absolute dream. Cam Duncan, if Travis catches a touchdown and gets an interception, that would absolutely break the internet this weekend. I mean, here's the thing. The amount of times that he broke the internet in college doing those type of things, like catching 3 touchdowns and an interception in the same game. Can we talk about that? Oklahoma State game, which I was at. I mean, and people wondered why he was the Heisman pick. Like, seriously? Like, but yes, I guarantee you there will be a week during the NFL season, whether it's preseason or not, that he will get a touchdown and he will have an interception on the defensive side of the ball. And it's going to absolutely blow the mind of people. And people are going to say, we've never seen this before. We didn't think he could go 2 ways. We don't know anything about what he does. It's going to happen at some point.
Yes.
Here you go. Here you go, Dave. Shedeur pulled his oblique laughing at all of Gabriel's incompletions today. Ooh, I like this one. I will admit, I slept on him. We forgot to mention him today. BJ Green gets a sack. Silman Craig with the pick. BJ Green is definitely going to get a sack. He looked unbelievable for the Jags, right? He's on the Jags with all the guys? Is that right?
Yeah. He is. Sorry.
No, you're good.
These other comments.
No, you're good. The chat is hopping tonight. That's all I'll say. Chat is hopping. Legal Side Hustle. I seen Bucky post something that said Jimmy's first touchdown. I thought he scored. I turned once Shedeur came out. Gotcha. Yeah, Jimmy didn't get his first touchdown yet. But, you know, looks pretty darn good.
Maybe I'll wear my Shark jersey this weekend for Cameron Silman Craig. I hope at the very least he can make the Jags practice squad.
Shark luck. Let's bring the shark luck in the chat. Let's bring the shark luck to Cam Silman Craig. We want to see him succeed this weekend. So we'll be watching all of the Buffs this weekend. Dave, is there anything else that you want to discuss before we end out our Wednesday night?
Man, just thank you to everybody in the chat. You know, I'll go through real quick. Hawaii, Chris, Ron Alexander, Diddy Truck, Gennaro, Keith. Thank you guys so much for, you know, all your donations. We can now, you know, drink some coffee, put some food in our bellies. You know, that's great. So thanks for supporting the show. And thanks to everybody, man, for being in the chat, man. You guys make us laugh. You guys are what makes this fun. And again, what point is there in doing this if it's not to have fun and enjoy every moment? So, Russ, man, I always appreciate you doing this with me on Wednesdays. Guys, we'll be doing this every Wednesday throughout the season. And I'm also got a show with Chico and Bird on Friday afternoons. It will be on Chico's channel, but then it will be streaming on my channel after that. So really would appreciate if you guys don't have anything going on Friday. Check in, check it out, say hello.
And starting Monday will be my live radio call-in show. So if anybody in this chat, all 300 plus, want to call in and discuss some of the things. I'm being brave with this, Dave. I'm being very brave.
Way more balls than I'll ever have.
We're gonna probably be hanging up the phone and banning some phone numbers the first Monday. We'll see what happens. But that'll be Monday at 4:30 p.m. Mountain. So Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Mountain. And then Fridays, Dave, what time is the Chico Dave collaboration? Do you know?
I think
or
it's
is
at
it
5 Eastern normally, but we might change the time on there.
Okay, and then I'll have a Friday preview show at 4:30 Mountain. I swear we just need to get like connected with every content creator for the Buffs and create some kind of like 24/7 news network, because the amount of us out there that we could just have 24/7 Buffs coverage. I mean, other SEC teams do that. They have their own channels, but we're all self-produced, so overhead cost is low.
Come on now.
Overhead cost is low.
News Network.
I'm wanting it. I'm wanting it. Nope. So appreciate you guys so much for joining. Thank you again for the awesome Wednesday night. We'll, of course, see you next time for the Buff Blitz. I'm Russ and my co-host Dave. And as always, Go
Buffs.
Buffs.